because I feel like people don't really understand
Yeah.
how hard it is for women to juggle all these things.
Yeah.
If you see a woman doing something efficiently, trust me, she's just an
There's
efficient
something
woman.
else, or there's something else that's falling apart.
Oh,
Of
yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah,
Because
true.
when they
That's
talk
true.
about balance, I don't
Yeah,
think it's actually
true.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what you see that looks
Unfortunately.
good, but many other things may be falling apart.
Do you know why when you say that women are getting more opportunity is, again, we go back to women have to produce, get pregnant. So I think most institutions or companies are afraid of hiring women because of that. Probably, she's gonna have a baby, she's gonna get pregnant or something like that. Like,
I once lost my job because I was pregnant.
exactly. So
Yeah,
there's
at
there's
5 months.
Yeah. Also, I almost lost my job when I actually got pregnant
Oh,
because I got
what?
pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
3 months into my job. I just joined and I got pregnant.
I applaud Sakaja. Governor Sakaja, I'm shocked about.
Yeah, the three.
Nairobi County has given women 2 days
2 days.
Yeah.
to take care of themselves
Take care of
during the
themselves.
menstrual period. I mean, this comes from a place of, I'm sure somebody brought it to his attention, or at least I'm sure he has daughters, he has a wife, he has women around him that he's observed that truly need the grace around this time. Good morning, good evening from wherever you're watching us from across Africa. My name is Brenda Isabel, and I'm going to be the host for the show today. On set, we have amazing, phenomenal women. Today, we're going to be discussing something away from diplomacy, governance, and the political stuff. Today, we want to have a conversation with women. Basically, this episode is a woman's guide to navigating your corporate life, work-life, family balance, so on and so forth. So on set, I have, without further ado, allow me to introduce two amazing, phenomenal, beautiful, I promise you, very beautiful women. Yeah, so I have with me Naima and Shelina. I will allow them to introduce themselves so that you can hear their golden voices. Karibu sana, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you so much for having us.
Yeah, you want to say a bit about yourself, Naima?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you once again. I'm very excited for this podcast. My name is Naima. I am a computer engineer by profession. I currently work as a senior project manager for a software IT company. And in my free time, I love to do extracurricular social activities that are very fun. So all-rounded woman.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's amazing. And I don't think, are there so many software engineers who are women?
Few actually.
Very
but
few.
We're very lucky that over the past few years, there have been a lot of up-and-coming techies, as we like to call them.
All right,
Yeah.
the techies.
Yes.
Okay. Shelina.
Thank you so much for having me, Brenda. Happy to be part of the podcast. I've been seeing a lot of your videos, and I was like, when you invited me, I was like, yeah, I'm excited to be part of this. So
Yeah.
my name, of course, is Shelina Manji. I am a business advisor for Market Entry International investors coming to Africa. I am currently Associate Director to Real Sources Africa in Kenya. So we are a trade facilitation company, organization, that we assist in trade for investors and anyone who is interested in Africa, of which, of course, many are now in Kenya. So I'm basically channeling traders into Kenya and investors as well. So that's what I do. Okay, do I have anything extracurriculum? Not really, but I need to soften up for that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So, to start us off, let us break the ice by I need each of us to tell us what your favorite movie is and why.
Wow.
Yeah.
Favorite movie. I think at the moment, I recently watched a movie in the cinema. It was called The Weapon. It was just very interesting because we didn't know what to expect in the entire movie. But by the time the movie ended, it was actually amazing. So I'd recommend it. Weapon.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That was by far my favorite so far this year.
And music.
Oh, I love
What
all
type of
type of
music
music.
do you like?
I'm a house music girly.
Oh wow, yay!
Yeah, the
That makes two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love everything Avicii. I love everything David Guetta, Tiesto, Armin van Buuren, the uns type of music. Yeah.
Okay, that's lovely. Shalina.
I don't have a specific movie that I like, but I'm a very general person. I like do you know, do you guys ever have this thing that when you're watching movies, halfway you just don't feel like watching it and then you move to the next one or what? I'm that person. Like, I'm not...
The interest goes away.
Yeah, so I don't know what's happened.
So what is it
It's more
that
like
can captivate your
thrillers.
attention?
Maybe I'm like more in thrillers, action movies. I
Okay.
really like action movies. I don't know why, and I'm such a girly girl.
Yeah.
But I love action movies. I love thrillers. I just love interesting movies. Do you know stuff like, you know, these movies that, what are they called? The ones that like
Mission
animation.
Impossible.
Oh,
Okay,
the
I like movies that
animations.
have real life stories to it, as opposed to like you know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Like
Yeah.
fiction.
Fiction, yeah.
Yeah.
So I like, so I
So the
don't have
Mavericks, those things for Transformer, we count you out.
I can't. But I have not watched.
Batman.
I have never watched Batman. I have never watched Transformers.
Oh,
I
wow.
have never. Which of the movie is this that it was so popular?
Superman.
So those, I don't watch those things. More like just real life.
Real life, based on true stories.
Stories,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, so that's my thing. And music, again, house music. I love house music, the vocal house music.
Yeah.
And then I also like very like Latino music as well. I'm more into that.
The salsa and all that.
The salsa, yeah. I love dancing
Yeah.
bachata
Arabian
as
music?
well. Arabian music, of course.
Yeah.
But of course, my music again is very soulful, very romantic, not too fast paced.
Oh, we have a lover
Yeah.
girl in studio.
Yeah,
We do,
yeah, I'm a
we
lover
do.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So anyways, that's interesting. I mean, it would be unfair if I don't share. So I personally love house music, a bit of reggae.
Oh,
Yeah, but I love house music for sure. And of late, I've been listening to a lot of Kenyan artists. I love
By the way,
African
Kenyan
music
yeah,
generally.
yeah.
My favorite artist in the entire universe is Oliver Mtukudzi from Zimbabwe. Yes. So I when I was much younger, as a young lady growing up, I remember attending his concerts, and I fell in love with his percussion instruments and everything. His sound is so authentic, you know. So I really rock to that. But you know, most people can't understand me because a lot of people don't know who Oliver Mtukudzi is. But may his soul rest in peace. But his music lives on.
Oh.
So I love that. Yeah, and a bit of, you know, the genres I mentioned earlier.
oh, nice.
Yeah. So I think let's just go straight to the conversation. How are we managing corporate life, work-life balance, family, friendships, dating? I mean, it just sounds like such a conundrum. It sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Wellness and fitness.
Oh, wellness,
and
fitness. Oh my
everything.
God, don't
There's
even
so
mention
many
wellness
things.
and fitness because
having the time to do all that.
having the time to do
yeah.
all that, even just the zeal, because I feel like people don't really understand
Yeah,
how hard it is for women to juggle all these things.
yeah.
If you see a woman doing something efficiently, trust me, she's just an
There's
efficient
something
woman.
else, or there's something else that's falling apart.
Oh,
Of
yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah.
Because
True.
when they talk
True.
about balance, I don't
Yeah,
think it's
true.
actually true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what you see that looks
Unfortunately.
good, but many other things may be falling apart.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Naima, if you want to start us off
Sure.
in terms
sure.
of, that balance.
I would say we're not individuals, and we should really foster the community and the aspect of support, because it literally is the only reason why people are able to actually be the best version of themselves. I would say really nurture your family. If you don't have the family, try and get like at least support where you can even pay for, so that at least your mind is sort of clear in terms of if you're navigating one aspect of your life, the other aspect there's someone else who's supporting you with it and, you know, helping you with it. And also at the end of the day, you don't have to take over everything. You can find a sort of balance. As I mentioned, balance is not really ideal, or it's not the case per se, but if you can, it's okay for you to say no to certain things. So, for example, if you're overwhelmed with work and you have family life at the same time, it's okay for you to say, I'm not available to come for a social activity. I would rather rest instead. That way you are trying to recoup so that you can be, you know, ready for the next week and so on and so forth. So it's just, it's being able to choose and prioritize what is important to you and trying to focus on those two things. And then after that there's always time for you to come back to your, you know, social activities. There's always time for you to come back to your health and wellness. I think in particular scenarios, it's really important to see, at the moment, this is all the things I'm juggling with. For example, if I'm working, I have a full-time job, I have a family. Let's say if I'm married, I have a child, and I have friends and I have family that I need to take care of. At some point, or even maybe I'm going back to school and I'm doing, let's say, my master's or something like that, there's something somewhere that's going to fail. It's for you to choose which one you can handle in this particular point in time, and then pick it up once something else is over. So a good example is if you decided to go back to school, including all that chaos of, like, you know, exercising, family and all that, it's okay for you to say no to certain things. You know, you'll be like, at the moment I'm not available, however I can support you in spirit, you know. And then find a balance in terms of work as well. I know it's very hard, obviously, depending on the different works that we do, but try and find a way to be able to be at least present for one thing or the other. That way you're not overly overwhelmed and you're not overexerting yourself. Obviously, this is all great in paper, but in real life, qua ground, it's not really the same, you know? It's all advice, but at the end of the day, it's very specific and very different for each and every individual, I'd say.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you've given us, you've shared your thoughts in terms of how we can at least try to strike a balance, which I think is something we all do. If you're juggling too many balls, there's too many moving parts. So, because you can't do everything at the same time, you may need to put something down, pick something else, but also do it in order of priority. What is more important for you? Like you're saying, sometimes if you need to prioritize rest so that you're able to be more effective in terms of how you work, then that's what you have to do.
That's true.
But then there are also situations where women don't have a choice. Have you ever seen, I mean, of course, society, we have people doing different types of work to survive, you know, and I know situations where I have seen women being given 2 weeks off to go and give birth and come back to work.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I think one of my cousins recently had a child, and she only had, I think, 1 week off because she had to go back, and she works in a hotel, you know? So, you know, anyways, what do you have to say about that?
That's truly unfortunate. Yeah, I think if it was a hotel, then they're binded and
they're bound by the laws of the land.
And the laws of the land say 90-day maternity leave for all women who are in employment. So unfortunately, I think they're misusing her, and perhaps maybe she can have a conversation with her employer, or if it gets to the point where she can get a lawyer to just like support her. Because I don't think 2 weeks is enough for her to bounce back and, you know,
it's not.
Get
Actually,
back
it takes
to work.
women almost 2 years. Okay.
Exactly.
In a general thing, it takes
Yeah.
about 2 years to get back your self identity as well once you give birth to a child. So I think 2 weeks is just.
It's unfortunate.
It's really.
Okay. So Shirley, in terms of balance, even with the challenges I'm highlighting, because in the case of this young lady, she's not fully employed. She's not an employee per se. She's on contract where she's given this, Kenyans call it kibarua, you know, where you're working when there's work. So if you go for too long, they'll replace you. Yeah.
That's
I think
really
in
sad.
general, as women, we do face challenges out there, you know, especially, you know, I don't think people understand how the challenges a woman just faces just the minute she finds that she's pregnant. Just from the minute you know you're pregnant, the challenges already you're facing, morning sickness, to just this whole new soul in your body, you know, your whole a child in your stomach growing. So I don't think people understand that whole journey that takes a woman until she's 9 months pregnant. And that's why with the case of your cousin, it's like after you've given birth, there's still healing process. and then you're
True.
told, and then you have to take care of this child by yourself.
Actually, women bleed for quite a while.
Yeah, of course,
before it
two
stops.
2 to 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
you
you have
no
this,
strength to even stand.
yeah,
You're breastfeeding.
the pain of breastfeeding. Let's not forget about that pain that already comes with breastfeeding, because now the minute you breastfeed it, your uterus is now contracting back into its normal place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that challenge that already your body it has to happen. Your body has to get back to its normal state.
Yeah.
And then there's the bleeding, and then there's taking care of this child who has no idea what. I can give an example of my son when he was just born. He didn't like the lights on. I didn't even know, and he would cry so much to a point like I was just like, why am I even in this situation? And I was by myself. You know what I mean? So there's that already that challenge of trying to get this child to understand the space he's in or she's in, and then you have to live your normal life, cook, clean, go to work. You know, so I don't think the society understands what women really go through really go through, especially if you've never had a child before, and if you're the opposite gender.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So they would understand. It's just the women who have been through it, and they're like, okay, by the way, I understand what you're going through. So they would understand that.
Yeah.
So it's sad. It's sad that we just cousin had to go through that, and it's sad that we women
and
have
many
to.
other women.
Yeah.
Many other women have to go through that same challenge, especially if probably you're a single parent, or you have a husband that does not support you. You know, some also with men as well. When you might be married and you have a child, and the man does not know what you're going through, because you as a mom automatically want to take care of the child. Motherhood checks in, and the fathers already, they don't understand. So they will be present, yes, but they will not be there for you. They will not be there to understand
Yeah.
what you're going through. So it's we're superhumans.
We're
I think.
beasts of burdens.
We are,
Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Women are a
So-
beast of burden. Shelley, you've mentioned something that leads me to my next question. You know, society right now is very toxic, for lack of a better word. Just how people are engaging with each other. I see a lot of bashing for women unnecessarily. I really don't know where it's coming from, but there's so much bashing of women and saying this one is a single mom, this one is, you know, that. And like you mentioned, some women are also in marriages and they don't have the support that they need,
yeah, of course.
you know. And then there's women who, unfortunately, have to raise children by themselves. And most times it's really not because you wanted to. I have never seen a woman that just says, you know what, I don't need help. I want to suffer. I want to do the work of both the man and the woman as we raise this child. You know, I've never seen that. It's just sometimes out of the circumstances women have gone through, I have seen women who say, you know what, I just want a child. I don't want a husband, you know. But in most cases, it is a relationship that didn't work. Maybe there was violence involved. Maybe, you know, things happen in life. But I feel like women get the shorter end of the stick, you know. And we're expected to work. We're expected to nurture our husbands. We're expected to love society, community. You know, we nurture so much. You know, we've not even gotten into managing families and in-laws and all these things and the role of a woman in all this. And I just feel like women are cheated out of rest.
Yeah.
A lot. You know, women are really cheated out of rest. And this came about when we started talking about equality. I think equality was never about competing with the man or replacing the man. It was about if there's a 4-year-old girl that is in school, the 4-year-old boy that is in school, the 4-year-old girl also deserves to go to school. It was never a competition. We were just saying what is good for the gander is good for the goose, but not in a sense of competing or taking up, you know, the different roles. You get. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Naima?
I do agree. It's about leveling the playing field. So, for example, if the boy child has more opportunities, we try and make sure it's balanced for the girl child as well. I remember seeing this one particular image about equality, and it wasn't about making sure everyone has the same stepping stool, but more of if this person needs a higher stepping stool to be on the same level as the other one, that's what we should do, you know? And that applies the same thing for women and, you know, men. So through experience and history, we've seen that there are a lot of more opportunities available for boys compared to girls, in terms of scholarships, in terms of education, in terms of just even the audacity to reach out for goals and, to apply for jobs. And there's a very famous quote that apparently when a job posting is shared out there and there's maybe 12 job requirements, if a boy child has maybe 2 or 3 qualifications out of the 12, he's still going to apply anyway because his mindset is telling him, what's the worst that can happen? However, the girl child will be like, oh, I'm not qualified, I only have 2 of those things. So already in her mind, she's already like trying to tell herself or convince herself that this is not for me. So it's also about the mindset. It's about nurturing that whole spirit of, yes, it's also possible for you to apply for such things. You can always learn on the job. There's nothing that is not teachable, So it's a matter of leveling the playing field and not making it equal in terms of like, if you get 2 shillings, you get 2 shillings. No, it's about making sure everyone has the same access to the opportunities available. I think that's what I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shelley?
I think, why when you say that women are getting more opportunity is, again, we go back to women have to produce, get pregnant, So I think most institutions or companies are afraid of hiring women because of that, probably. She's going to have a baby, she's going to get pregnant or something like that. Like,
I once lost my job because I was pregnant.
Exactly. So
at
there's
5 months.
Yeah. Also, I almost lost my job when I actually got pregnant because I got pregnant.
Oh my goodness!
3 months into my job, I just joined and I got pregnant and I conceived at that time. So they were like, so lucky enough, I had this really good colleague of mine who was so supportive of me, and he spoke to my directors. Of course, they were very kind to allow me to still work, but it was a challenge because of course you could feel like there's a bit of like
her productivity
did she get pregnant
lower.
Intentionally, that because she knows we're going to pay her 3 months?
Now that makes me really sad. Do
you know what I mean?
By the time somebody is trying to process whether you got pregnant intentionally or not, the kids people see running around, the bosses have children as well. Those children, it is women that carried them in their wombs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our first assignment as human beings, and I'm glad we have a diverse, cultural background on set, and also religion. Our first assignment as women is to reproduce and bring children to the world. While a man can take 3 seconds to give you that child, it will keep you down for 9 months, and you'll be craving onions.
Almost a year.
It's actually 40 weeks. 40 something, some women
Like
42
and then
weeks.
after that,
after
there's also
that,
the
you
whole
remember this after that?
breastfeeding.
Yes.
and healing.
I had 2 years. Like, for me to feel myself back, my son was 2 years old, for me to be like, okay, now I can wear my favorite jeans, or I can wear my favorite dress, or because 2 years is when like the kid gets sick at some point in the middle of like the first year. So, and then of course I'm a single mom, so I had to do it by myself. At the same time, my mom was sick, so I had all that to juggle, and I had a job, so I had all that to because I was, of course, at that time I was staying with my mom, thankfully.
Yeah.
So she was able to. The good thing is she was able to take care of my son when I'm working.
That sense of community.
Yeah. So that was the best thing, the advantage, because I did not have to leave my son with a nanny or something, because I had to work. So I had to juggle all that. So you can imagine, it takes you 2 years to get yourself back, to get on the ground and be like, okay, I just have myself back.
Yeah. And Shirley, we've not even talked about the side effects of pregnancy. The fact that some women get an epidural shot on the spine.
I did.
C-section.
Wow.
Yes, I did a C-section.
I did as well, you know. So.
Oh, that's actually even it takes longer for you to heal.
That's just really unfortunate.
Yeah.
It takes
and
longer
then
for you to heal.
Back you now permanently have back issues.
Because of the epidural.
Yes.
Because of the epidural. Because first of all, the weight of the baby on the spine. For some women, we're not even talking about how the spinal cord curves inwards.
Yeah.
Because perhaps the baby was too big. Remember, some women even give birth to twins, triplets, quadruplets, so on and so forth. So, I mean, just for me, in this season, I just want to applaud women.
I know.
You know.
I know.
Of course,
They really are
100%.
super women.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
We were born
Superheroes.
because our mothers sacrificed
Mhm.
and decided to have us, and we'll keep having children
Yeah.
because this is the way of the world. This is how we populate the world. And I implore employers to just
Be kind.
be kind.
Give some grace,
Be
you know?
kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's really important for employers to understand that we're not choosing to be terrible at our jobs. You know what I mean? For the
Mm.
next like 2 years or the next 1 year, you need to understand that this person is also going through a whole life-changing system that is happening. You know,
Mhm.
they're trying to give birth, they're trying to bring life into this world. So I think it's really important that people are kinder, people
Yeah.
give them more grace. They
Mm.
understand that, you know, let's be a bit patient with this one
Matter of
particular woman,
fact.
you know.
Mhm.
When a
Mm.
woman has a child, she will work extra hard, regardless she's single or
Mhm.
married.
Because she has a
She'll
whole
work
life.
extra hard
Yeah.
to cater for her family
Mhm.
because no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think with
Women
the-
become too focused.
they become
They
too
do.
focused.
Yeah.
No, not compared. Okay, we can compare them to men, but we are compared to men in terms of how the strength that we have.
No, but even just let's leave men out of this conversation. Just as a woman, I
Of
remember
course.
before I had a child,
There was
the
a lot
certain
of
things.
carefree
Yeah, I was
life.
very carefree.
Yeah,
I used to buy wigs for God knows how much.
yeah.
Right
so
now,
you have,
I'm like,
you have to
do I
budget.
really need
I
it?
can't. Do I really
Yeah.
need it? Like
Yeah.
your priorities shift.
Of course,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you literally grow as well. You
100%.
It's true.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of emotional intelligence that happens once you start a family, you know.
Yeah.
You become a bit more grounded in terms of what
Mm.
is true to you and what is not, and what you want out of life and how you can get that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's a whole mindset and shift and change.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you see, by the time God gives you 9 months to incubate a human being inside of you, God also is working on you. This is why you see women who perhaps never wanted to get pregnant, but at the end of the day become the best mothers.
Mhm.
You know, people who tried to get abortions done, but something, you know, people who broke up, were on the verge of breaking up when they discover they're pregnant, but some of them decide to just keep the child anyway. And you realize by the time 9 months are done, these women have become so phenomenal,
Mhm.
so phenomenal, and they are able to love these children, nurture them, and take care of them. And I personally have a problem with society when you constantly bash the person that decided to take responsibility. Half the time, I know there are many single fathers who are taking care of their children. God bless them,
Yeah.
and we thank God for them. But women get a lot of hate just because they chose to raise these children. And in fact, sometimes it's not you choosing. You can actually be married today, 6 months later, you're divorced, and you have a child. Are you not going to take care of that child? You know, so what is this obsession with attacking women? Yeah, who are doing the right thing. Of course, we are pro-life. If there are circumstances that require you to perhaps not carry the child to term, that is understandable. But somebody who went through pain and decided, I'm going to keep the child anyway, this is life. You know, I believe those are women that deserve to be honored
And supported.
and supported.
Yeah, whether it's monetary, whether it's just being physically available, emotionally, and all
Mhm.
sorts. Yeah, we really should have like a nice support system. And speaking of a support system, perhaps it's really important to highlight the good parts of it.
Yeah.
For example, in my particular culture, the minute a woman becomes pregnant, it's like all of a sudden the world and the society is extremely kind to her. They're very generous.
wow.
They're very helpful.
For Somalis.
Yes, exactly. And
Wow.
it's for example, as soon as they give birth,
Mhm.
usually they go to their mothers for 40 days.
Mm.
Yeah.
So the 40-day period, they don't do anything.
They
All
don't
they
do
do is
anything, yeah.
focus on rest, drinking
Mhm.
soups, trying to basically heal while the baby is taken care of by the community. So the
Yeah.
mothers and the aunties and the
So you
grandmothers.
have to go to your
Heal.
mom's
Exactly,
house.
exactly. They
You
take
have to
care of
be
your
with your mom.
child. They help you at least rest. So in
Mm.
those 40 days, all you're doing is focusing on rest and trying to breastfeed your child.
Mhm.
And that really humanizes the whole experience
Mhm.
because you become more grateful for having a community. You become more grateful for having people who are there for you, you know?
Mm.
And I've realized, I've spoken to a lot of like friends of mine who don't have that kind of access and that kind of privilege. And it literally is a big difference because it's a difference where this one person is focusing on rest and just, drinking soups and trying to feel better, and the other person doesn't have time for rest because they have to think about food, they have to think about cooking and cleaning, and they have to,
You have to pay
figure
rent,
out
shelter.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole baby that you have to take care of.
Yeah.
So when you compare those two scenarios, it's not really fair,
Yeah.
because one feels like a privilege. Well, ideally, it shouldn't be a privilege. It should be a need where every single mother should have access to.
Yeah.
So it's really important to nurture community. Community will actually really help you navigate this whole new experience.
Yeah.
And I really, really would wish that more people would, have access to that. It would really help a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm thinking along the lines of rallying women to back a private member's bill to present to Parliament, where we're going to look at this kind of needs for women. I mean, I applaud Sakaja, Governor Sakaja. I'm shocked about
Yeah, the
Nairobi County has given women 2 days,
2 days,
to take care of themselves
Take care of
during the
themselves.
menstrual period. I mean, this comes from a place of, I'm sure somebody brought it to his attention, or at least I'm sure he has daughters, he has a wife, he has women around him that he's observed that truly need the grace around this time. Let me bring some statistics to the floor. So this issue of sanitary towels, for example, is something that people don't pay too much attention to, because people have sung about it and you feel like it's out of tune. But it really isn't, because a girl on average will be on her menses for 5 days, right, in a month. So a school term, let's just talk about CBC, not the private schools. One school term has 3 months. It means she's going to miss 15 days. 15 days in a term. There are 3 terms in a year, which means she's going to miss 45 days of schooling, right? Now, when a child misses 45 days of schooling, this is a girl child, how do you recover? Remember, the periods don't choose when to come. It can come
during exam period.
During exams,
Yeah.
when you're revising. It doesn't matter what you're learning. Everything stops because your biology is calling you to rest. Yeah? And now these girls don't even have money for sanitary towels. You know how depressing it is to stain your clothes.
That's true.
Or just I will say be denied the dignity of going through your feminine, monthly thing peacefully and gracefully, privately. Also, it's a very private affair. I mean, women don't like talking about these things, understandably so, when you get it. But for girls who don't have pads, some of them, I'll tell you the alternatives they're using. They pick
Cotton.
Some of them use cotton wool. For those who don't have cotton, because cotton you still have to buy, they get old rags and blankets. These things sometimes are not very clean. They get bacteria and get infections. And also, they will still stain the clothes and leak. There are girls who have older boyfriends, young girls in school. And it is very sad because sometimes men take advantage of the fact that they're buying you something.
Yeah.
So they'll buy you a pad, next time they'll buy you chips. They sort of groom you. Before you know it, this man is indecently touching a minor, So I think as women, as grown women in the corporate space, we need to continue pushing for certain things as much as people believe they're outdated, because more girls are born every day, more children are born, both boys and girls. And it's our responsibility. I know once upon a time we used to say, when I grow up, I want to do this. But we're grown. Imagine this is it. I don't think, right now, whenever I think about life, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Because I'm looking at what is left of it. You know what the life expectancy is like. Right now, we live in a very fast-paced world where anything can happen. So it's very important for us also to remember the younger teens, the girls, even preteens, who are going through a lot silently. And now we're seeing a generation of post-teens, the Gen Zs, who are also going through a number of challenges. Yeah, a lot of them, I don't know if the gap is because we have not tried to mentor them. Do we have a role to play in some of the challenges we're seeing them go through? Because they're completely, technology happened. thanks to you.
Yeah.
And the other techies across the world.
Yeah.
You know, technology happened, and what is going on is that technology took off. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have what. Unfortunately, these have become mediums where people watch and try to emulate what is online, or they feel like their lives are so terrible because somebody your age is on a private jet and whatnot, and now girls are doing all manner of things to just try and belong. You know, so what kind of guidance? I know we are not saying we know everything, but we are just sharing from our little wealth of experience.
Yeah.
You know, how can young women navigate these spaces
It's. I think I would
and
like
still
to
be
flip.
authentic?
Yeah, I would like to flip that, where we, the older people, have a responsibility to the young people.
We
You get
do.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we nurture them, we hold their hands, we tell them, let me give you the blueprint of life. You know, allow me to guide you. You know, this is the best thing to do. This is the best thing to do. If you try this, it might not work for you. You know, a lot of advice and a lot of hand holding.
Yeah.
That way they feel like they're not alone in this world.
Yeah.
You know, so I'd really like to make sure it's us who have the responsibility of picking our younger ones, you know, giving them access to internships if they're available, you know, giving them bus fare to just go to work and like be
Mentoring
able to
them.
understand, teaching them what to do in life, what are the best careers that are up right now, how do we navigate in terms of like what is the next best thing for you, what are your interests and where do your career lie. So I'd really encourage all the older women to really, really find your cousin, your young niece, your nephew, whoever it is.
Just
that
a bunch of
requires-
them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just take them out, sit down with them, and you know, make sure you tell them that I'm here for you. You know, that really, really shapes a lot. It might not look like a big deal, but it is a big deal because by the time this young girl is going to seek an older man for help, monetary wise or something else, it's because probably she might not have that mentorship or like an older young cousin or you know an auntie who's taking care of her. You know, so we want to really encourage them and tell them, I'm here for you. Whatever you need, come to me first. We'll figure it out. We'll sort it out together before you go out to someone else, you know, giving them
Yeah.
that opportunity to, even if it's just a phone call or a conversation saying, I'm really struggling with this particular issue. How can I navigate it? Even just a piece of advice, it would really, really help that because you know there's someone in your corner. So, for example, as a young and coming Gen Z person, if they have someone like that in their corner, it really helps them navigate life easier compared to someone who doesn't have that. So I would honestly encourage all the older people to make sure that at least anyone who's in your corner, anyone who's in your circle, try and give them that avenue of like, I'm here for you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to figure out life together with you. That way they don't feel so alone.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they're lonely. They end up seeking out things that are not really ideal for them.
Yeah.
You know, so I'd like to flip the script on that. You know,
I love your response on that, because that also is a way forward in terms of something solid that we can do. It's within our reach.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's so frustrating to think about it because society, right now, the world is a global village. I mean, you know, it's you can't heal what people are not ready to let go of. And we have our small circles where we discuss progressive things and we, you know, build each other and whatnot. But how many people have these spaces to feed from? Because young people must be very careful where they're getting their information and guidance from. Because social media should not be the place where you just...
It's interesting you bring that up because when I had started an event company in 2022. And at some point with my partner, I said, you know what? We have to expand and bring some awareness by using this opportunity we have as a company. And the idea that I had with her was we go to universities, we call like the minds of like Janet Bugwa, Jodi Gishuru, you know, all these successful women who are they're women who many girls look up to, you know. So that was the idea I had, was that we go to these universities and we have Julie Gushuru or Janet Bugwa come and talk to these women and give them a story. It could be any other woman who's who has made it in life and successful. They made it in the best way, you know, in a respectful way. Hardworking, they worked hard to get where they are. So they speak to these young ladies in the universities, and because at that time social media was now, that yacht thing was very famous at that time. In 2022, going to Dubai and meeting this,
The tycoons.
the tycoon of Dubai, and being flown out to Dubai for to do crazy things.
The porta potty things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Why don't we? Because when these university students go on their phone and social media, they see this person in a yacht and enjoy. They don't know how they got there. So it's best for us to not switch the narrative of getting money that way to actually working hard to get that money. You know what I mean? And doing it in the rightful way. Regardless of you hustling, but you're doing it in the right way. So it was an idea. We couldn't implement it because, of course, by then she had to start her own job and do something else. I got to go do something else, but we didn't get to implement that. And I'm hoping,
but the idea
somebody,
is still alive.
yeah, somebody out there would actually flow with that idea and just bring influential women who have a story to tell you. You know what? I got into a matatu. I used to pay 50 shillings to go to my 2 jobs or 1 job. Now I'm driving a nice car because it's my own success, you know what I mean, and drive. So those are the stories that these girls need to understand, because then they will identify with it. Because that's just a journey most of us have gone through. Where we are right now, we had to go through it. We had to go through getting to matatus and going to town, Odeon,
We had to be satisfied with going to Java for a coffee and a chips at McFry's.
At Sanford.
At Sanford, yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, I have this 100 bob, and your first salary is 20,000 Kenyan shillings. And
right now you see
and you're okay.
Young girls who have a champagne taste buds, but your budget does not match.
There's not much, yeah.
Yeah, you can't be jobless. You can't be struggling and trying to grow.
100%.
You're still at a nascent stage, and
100%.
you want the fast life, the jets, the champagnes, the yacht.
And it don't last too long. It's just a short period of time, and that's it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm yet to see a woman who went through the dark side of making it too fast and has a positive story to tell.
Yeah.
There's always regret, because the people that give you that life want to take something from you, and sometimes it's something that you may never get back. Sometimes it's your youthfulness. There's actually a trending story in Nigeria. This is on a funny note. Okay, not really funny, but so there's a lady trending in Nigeria. She's an actor, and she was dating a pastor. Has dated the guy privately for I think 7 years, and suddenly the pastor announced his wedding this week. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. It's crazy. So suddenly the pastor announced that he's marrying. He found someone in the congregation that he's in love with and whatnot, and he's marrying somebody else. So this woman says, you must settle me. You must settle me. 7 years of sweating and all manner of styles. So I was really laughing.
Wow.
She's going to her lawyers and they're drafting her demands. Can you believe? I mean, what are the grounds? Someone can change their mind.
It's true, yeah.
I can't sue you for divorcing me. I can't sue you for dumping me.
Yeah.
Actually, it's very interesting that you mentioned that. In my free time, I usually have a Tech Talk Tuesday where I teach young girls about different careers in tech.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because I thought this is my way of giving back to the society,
Do you have a...
I will share it shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, so my way of contributing to the society is to try and help them where I can, meaning that, I'm available, I mentor them, I try and show them the ropes, how to get into tech, what to do in your free time. There's different careers, it's not just about coding and programming. There's also project management, there's UI and UX design and all that. So I always try and find good examples of trying to show these young girls how to make it in life, instead of trying to tell them, don't do this. Just leading by example is usually my philosophy in life. And I've realized it makes a big difference. I'll randomly be stopped by someone and be like, oh, Naima, I remember you from your tech talks. In fact, thanks to you, I've joined tech. I've tried to teach myself,
That's really good.
So
that's amazing.
that's usually my way of trying to bring the girls up because I don't have experience in the other side. I can only control what I know and what I know best. And what I know best is tech and how to mentor these young girls. And I was very fortunate enough to partner with UN Women, whereby we created an initiative called Africa Girls Can Code Initiative with an old classmate of mine.
Oh, wow.
And thanks to that, we're able to give scholarships.
African Girls Can Code
Initiative, yeah,
Yes.
AGCCI. And we're able to at least uplift young girls from like 14 to 17 years old, because that's a very important time in terms of career choosing. And we give them free laptops thanks to like collaborations with different organizations. We give them like trainings, and we're able to show them that it's possible to get into tech, even if you don't have access to the same opportunities as people who live in Nairobi, for example. So it was a very fruitful collaboration, and there's so many cohorts that we've been doing each year just to make sure that at least we are always encouraging the young generation. You know, we're trying to give them equal opportunities. We're trying to help them by making sure that it is possible. The minute the mindset is, you know, set, it's always easy for someone to see different lifestyles and be like, okay, I want this one instead. Does that make sense?
Yes,
It's all
it does.
about like the way someone is nurtured, either by their family or by their outside external factors. So if they're nurtured by people who are into career, people who are into self-sufficient entrepreneurship and all that, that's what they'll go for. And they'll understand that this is the correct way to go in life. But if they see social media and that's all they're able to see, and unfortunately the mindset is not there and it's not very stable and grounded, because it's also important at the end of the day, you as an individual, what grounds you? You know, what is moral to you, what is true to you. The minute you know that, as much as the social media can affect us, you already know what you want out of life, you know? So you're not easily dissuaded and you don't easily influenced by this type of lifestyle. So once again, I'd say it's really important with how we nurture people, how we nurture these young girls, how we show them that what is possible in life, so that they have people to emulate, they have, you know, things to look forward to, and at least they're able to have a great future ahead of them. So I think from my perspective, it's all about what we can do, either as parents, either as mentors, either as aunties, as just individual societies, you know? Yeah, it's very important.
I love that, Naima.
Yeah.
You said Tech Talk Tuesdays?
Yes.
That is so fantastic.
It
So
is.
we will be looking out for the project.
For
You've
sure.
partnered with UN Women.
Yes.
Coincidentally, we're supposed to have someone from UN
Oh,
Women today.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
But, you know, still I think, have covered certain things that we wanted to address around women.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kindly, for all our followers, you need to follow. It's Tech Talk Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister.
It
for
is,
real.
it is.
Yeah, but that's such a beautiful initiative.
It
And you're
is.
saying African Girls Can Code.
Initiative, yeah.
Yeah, initiatives. That's amazing.
It is, it is.
Yeah, I feel like this
Yeah.
needs to spread all over Africa.
It's really good.
It is.
Yeah.
I think so.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's your way of giving back. I mean, so you're just using your skills and your gifts, and that's how you give back.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it
so
makes a big
It
difference.
makes a
does
big
make a
difference.
It really makes a
yeah.
big difference mentally and also mindset wise. And that's all we need in this life. You know, if your mindset is set and you have goals in mind, you're able to at least achieve them and you're not easily dissuaded.
Yeah.
Because we can't really do much. We can't tell them don't do this, you know,
Yeah.
but we can lead by example.
And I love the fact that you're talking about infiltrating these spaces of social media. Let's just call it digital media.
Yeah.
Infiltrating digital media with alternative narratives.
Exactly.
Because there's what is known for social media. You have to look for, sometimes you do the funny things to trend, things that are of course going to be find society wondering what is wrong with this one. But the goal is just to trend. But also if we have this kind of dialogues and this kind of interventions in these spaces, then it helps women who are on those same social media, digital media streets to pick what works for them. One thing I know that our generation has in common, we're all millennials, right? One thing that millennials and, for example, Gen Zs have in common is we all want to make it,
Of course.
I think. So the only difference is how we are trying to get there,
Yeah.
you know? And like Naima said earlier, it's actually our responsibility to nurture the younger generation. Remember, we are their mothers.
Yeah.
Let's also not forget that. So we're also talking to women like us, of our age. Please pay close attention to your child. Be mindful of the freedoms that you give these children. I saw recently in Australia
Social media was banned for underage.
So Australia has taken a very big step.
As
and I
they
would love to
should.
look at their legislation to just see what we can borrow back home.
Of
Because why
course.
do you have underage girls on social media knowing the kind of things that people post on social media? We are exposing these children too early. And this is when their minds are shaping. So also we can't blame them.
Of
Because
course.
if you overstimulate a child when they're younger, when they're older, it becomes who they are. Remember, this is the generation of the microwave. Yeah. The first time I saw a phone, the first time I used a phone, I think I was 19 or 20.
The Nokia.
3310.
Loved it.
It's a staple in each household.
Oh gosh. And then you moved to
And it wasn't mine, it
no,
was, I think, my
Blackberry.
dad's.
I almost call it Blueberry. Blackberry, right?
Yes, and then the Blackberries came. But
That
now,
was the iPhone
The
of that
iPhone
time.
of that time.
yes, so we have to, be fair and just throw it, like, we as the parents of these young people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we have to do better, for
Of
lack
course,
of
of course.
a better expression. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will be discussing, professionalism in the workplace, things to do with how do we scale the heights in the right way, how do we manage our relationships with colleagues, are we relational, what happens when there's conflict in the workplace, and how do we navigate all these things as we're trying to scale the heights. So with us in studio, we have Naima, who is a software engineer, and also a Somali woman. So I think I'm just so proud of so much that she's been able to achieve, including her projects. We'll talk more when we come back. And also we have Shelina in studio, who is also a guru when it comes to investment, startups, especially working with foreigners coming into Africa, not just Kenya, but Africa. So please kindly stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us after the break. In studio, I have Miss Naima, and I also have Shelina. And these are conversations with women in the corporate sector. Shelina works in the investment sector, especially working with new startups, investors coming into Africa, specifically Kenya. She works mostly with, of course, the whole world, but mostly UAE. And then we have Naima in studio, who is a software engineer. Something that is really exciting me about some of the projects that she has, so on and so forth. So going back to the conversation after the break, Shelley, I would like to ask you something around how we work with men. Do you feel like right now people are collaborating with men, or are we competing as women? Because when you look at the banter sometimes online, it looks like it's a battle of the sexes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting question, and thank you for asking that, because I don't think we get that question asked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But coming from also my culture, as Muslim, we men have their own own place,
Mm-hmm.
and women have theirs.
Just coming to Naima with your reflections, because a lot of the things perhaps Shelley is going through, you may not be able to relate because you have the support system. And do you want to say something about that?
I think once again, each experience is very individual and very particular to each person. I think at the end of the day, I would say that your past doesn't have to determine your future. So for example, if you were unfortunate enough to not have that nurturing at a young age, it's okay for you to learn new things about femininity and how to be a woman, how to be a career person, and how to navigate life. So it's all about learning new things. Does that make sense? If you're fortunate enough to have that upbringing, well, I guess you're very privileged and you're very lucky, and
Yeah.
you should make sure that you use that for good.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's okay for you to learn new things. It's okay for you to unlearn new things
Yeah.
and to be the best version of yourself. You know, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, as long as you are your most natural self, you know, your authentic self, it's what matters.
Yeah.
And a lot of us end up trying to be like other people that we're seeing, and that doesn't really work because it doesn't relate to you per se. So I would say that how you are brought up is very important.
Yeah.
Very,
It's
very
true.
important. As an individual, I was very fortunate enough to be brought up with a lot of values and morals, and I had people to look up to in terms of like my mother and my father and my older siblings and all that. So I grew up knowing what is good and what is not good,
expected.
what is expected, how to be this person, how to navigate life, how to navigate career, how to navigate marriage and everything
Yeah.
else. So it's like you have the cheat sheet in life, which is truly, truly a privilege.
Actually, you're right, because
It's
it's a cheat
truly-
sheet. Because
Yeah,
if you're looking up to
you already
your older
know
siblings, the
exactly.
things they went through, you don't have to learn from your own
Exactly,
Yeah,
experience.
it's
exactly.
true.
And you already know what works and what doesn't work, although
Yeah.
each individual experience is separate. However, it's like you're being guided, you know? And I wish more people could have that, because that would really, really solve a lot of our problems. And also, at the end of the day, it's okay for you to learn, as I mentioned, new things. You can always look up to someone and be like, okay, their life seems okay. Let me sit and figure out what they're doing that is different. Is it the discipline that is there? Is it the hard work? Is it the access to opportunities? You know, it's always good to seek out such kind of guidance, just so that it can shape your life, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
of course, now when you talk about being the oldest, like myself, I'm an
Oh,
older
yeah.
sibling.
Who are you gonna look
So
up
who
to?
am I? That's why now. That's
Oh,
why when I tell
wow.
you this challenge that I have
Yeah.
is one. I'm an older sibling
Wow.
that I have to navigate through life by myself. You know what I mean?
So you're the one that is creating the cheat code for
other
Yeah,
cheat
people.
code
I
for
have
everyone.
my sister who's older than me, but then
Mhm.
I would say I'm the stronger older sibling. You know, my sister is like she does navigate through life, yeah, but then she can ask me for advice most of the time. So when it comes to that, I feel like I'm the one who's supposed to show the best example. So it becomes a challenge because now you cannot tell them your problems. You cannot, because they call
people
you
come to you.
Yeah, they come to you, so you're not able
Yeah.
to tell them, okay, this is what I'm struggling with. You just have to just hold it in and take it in and pretend things okay and smile throughout the
But you know, Shelley,
difficulties.
it reminds me of something Naima said earlier in terms of balancing and how we need to know. I mean, learn. Remember, we are learning and unlearning in this life.
Yeah,
None of us came here knowing everything, and we
Mhm.
still don't know much.
Yeah.
of course.
We can only share what we know, and sometimes we goof and we fail. And I keep saying failure is a beautiful way of learning.
Of course.
Yeah, how not to do something.
Mhm.
Because if you do it this way the first time and you don't succeed, then you know how else to do it. And you keep trying until you get it right.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, with what Naima said about balance, you know, it would be also important for, I feel like sometimes people who are relied upon for a lot tend to have a savior mindset
Of
where
course.
you want to save everyone. You see 6 people drowning, you want to stretch your legs, your hands, your limbs,
Yeah.
so that they can hang on to you. And sometimes
course.
what that does is it drowns you. Just as we're talking today, I was just listening to the experiences, and of course, Naima's experience is very different from yours and mine. And that's what life is about.
Of course, yeah.
But also, I'm just realizing that literally you have so much on you, you know, on top of the lack of support sometimes that we need. And the one thing that women have to talk about openly, just because there are voices out there who bash women and don't desire marriage and whatnot. I hear nowadays people say marriage ni ya mafala. You all know what that means.
Yeah.
That marriage is for fools. It really isn't, you know. Just get someone that gets you. You're aligned and you're moving in the right direction. It's not that easy because right now, all the solid women I know are not looking at men for their pockets. They're looking at character.
That's true.
You know, a lot of the women that I know are looking at a man's character. Nowadays, very few women are still hanging on to, I want a plate of food. You know, whatever skills you have within you, whether it is you're selling boga somewhere by the roadside, or you are working in somebody's house as a maid, Or, I mean, I've seen women who have dignity. The nanny in my house has so much dignity. She calls her family very proudly. She speaks to them. She takes care of them. She sends money home. She's a provider. She's a breadwinner, you know. And she's a house help, you know. Of course, you treat her with dignity, and she's learned that, you know, she's so confident of who she is, and her experience is literally very good, you know. So sometimes it's really not about just getting the high-end jobs and the what. You pick what you can and you grow with it.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So something else I would like to maybe ask is that as women in the corporate space, what do you think about the workplace romance? To date or not to date in the workplace?
Not to date, 100%.
Naima, what's your
No,
vote?
I agree. I agree with Shelley.
Not to date.
Yeah.
Not to date,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, I've had people ask me a lot of times because I'm around, most of the people I work with is men, right?
Mhm.
Because you meet investors, you have to sit around them.
They're the
and-
ones with the resources
yeah,
to
they're the
invest
ones, yeah, of
at the
course.
end of the day.
So they're like, how do you manage, like, you know, being a woman and just being in that space? And I was like, listen, one thing, how you carry yourself and the boundaries that you create immediately just draws that line.
Yeah.
You know, and they then tend to respect you. Before, I can be honest with you, I wouldn't, not that, I never used to wear a scarf before, like, before. I
Mhm.
started wearing it the minute I knew that this is where I'm going to start working and who I'm going to interact with. The reason I'm saying is because I found that just the way you dress as well, how decent you are, you create a boundary already.
It's how you're addressed.
And that's how you're dressed, right?
Mm.
So that has really helped me, to be honest. Just covering myself and making sure that I look decent, and even when I'm talking to them, the first thing they're like, okay, this is either she's married or something.
Mm.
And funny enough, people are gonna be amazed by me saying this, but I have never had an approach of a man saying that, oh, you know, let me take you out, or let me take you out for dinner, or let me take you out for a trip, or because I sit around most of them, I sit
Yeah.
with them, and I have never had them ask me because
To
I
be
think
honest, it's based on how you carry
yourself
I agree.
100%.
How you
and
carry yourself, the first impression and the other impressions
yeah,
is what
and
will
you
tell
just
this man
talk
whether there
business.
is room
Or not.
for play
But
or
they do
not.
try you. They do try
Exactly.
you. They do, because
In subtle ways, though, not
little ways.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, because if you're speaking to these men, they want to ask. They ask themselves, what is it about this woman that she's around us? What does she want? So the first thing they'll think is that you
want something.
Yes, you want something. All right, and they're like, okay, let's test her. And I don't think the intention is really to take you out for coffee or to take you out for
Yeah.
dinner. No, or
Mhm.
take you for a trip. But they'd be like, oh, you know, you're looking very lovely today, or, you know, can I take you out for coffee? You'll be, you know, but they're testing you.
They're testing
They're
you.
testing you to see. And I don't think the intention was even to take you out. They just want to see, why is this woman here? Why is she amongst us? Why
Yeah.
is she involved in our, you know, conversations?
Mhm.
Because they're curious about you.
Mhm.
They are. So, but the minute you draw that line, they're like, okay, now let's speak business.
Yeah.
Let's talk business, and then
Yeah.
now you approach them with the business
Yeah.
conversation. So
Yeah, I would
Um,
like to hear Naima's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually do have some additions to that. I do
Mhm.
agree with that. However, I'd like to say the line, you drawing your line, doesn't necessarily have to come from you as an individual. There should be HR practices and policies in place for most corporate and most companies whereby they already protect the young upcoming people, you know, where as a person in leadership, I cannot ask such questions. I cannot even like make a joke because the HR policies are very strict. So when it comes to working for international organizations, their culture and the HR policies are usually very,
They're
very
very airtight.
airtight
Yeah.
in such a way that everyone goes through training in terms of, you know, how to be sensitive, what to say and what not to say. That way, you are already protected.
Yeah.
It's really important for people who are CEOs or owners of companies or entrepreneurs to create that environment where the HRs are quite strong, whereby people don't have to protect themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to enter like a survival instinct mode,
Mhm.
but the system is already there to protect you. It's only there to nurture you. You have like, you know, spaces where people are helping you out, but they do not expect anything from you.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really important.
That's
Some
an important
some companies
point.
do have that, and I'm
Yeah.
very fortunate enough to have worked with almost all the companies that have that strict airtight type of corporate culture.
Mhm.
It really makes you realize that you're actually living a very privileged life in work, because we would never hear a conversation where someone is trying to tell you, let's go out for a cup of tea. There would be a team lunch where everyone in your team is going for lunch and you're sitting down and you're having an easy conversation. However, everyone walks around eggshells, meaning that this is a workplace. We all have to bring out our best formal selves. We shouldn't just play and tease with, the
Yeah.
boundaries of nature. You know what I mean? And once again, I'd say it's really important for the companies to ensure they have that in place
Yeah.
to protect those who cannot protect themselves,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, it's a power play most of the time.
It
And when
is.
it comes to power play, there's always the younger or the weaker person who ends up being in a disadvantaged position,
That's
you know?
true,
Yeah, so that's what I would add.
But there's times where you hear stories of like, right now, finding a job is very difficult. So, example, you get a lady who is like, okay, I'll do anything it takes to get to that job. I'll do anything it takes to climb that ladder in the organization. And not most, but some organizations have probably the leadership, or the CEO or the one of the company saying, okay, this girl looks. Of course, when you're in need of something, you look desperate, right? It shows, and men are not. They're not
They
dumb.
see it.
They see it. They know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's able to see that this girl is desperate, and I can get what I want from her. And this lady is like, for me to get this opportunity to earn from 50,000 to 100,000 Kenyan shillings to be in a managerial position,
Yeah.
I can easily climb that up because this man wants me. That is the worst thing to ever do.
Yeah.
Worst thing to ever do, because the minute that he sees that you're desperate, to get you out, if the minute that you get into a relationship with this man,
It will never stop.
it will never stop, number one, and he'll lose respect for you, number two.
Yeah.
And number three, he will discard you so badly when he wants to, and the time comes, because there's always going to be another you.
And remember,
you know what I mean?
When men do these things, they're also conscious. They know the rules
100%.
of this organization.
100%.
So once they use you, sometimes they find the smallest excuse and dismiss you. And that's how you lose your
Yeah,
job. So it never ends well.
And some of them actually discuss this, because remember one thing: these men speak to each other. They go off playing golf somewhere, and they're like, oh, I was with this lady.
And also,
And you're
there's
not gonna
men
get
who
a
are
job
taking
again.
advantage of other workplaces as well.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the two-way thing, right? It's a two-way thing. So for me, I just think that just be honest with yourself when it comes to where you're working, and just do what's right. You know what I mean?
I think integrity is a big conversation here, because it takes integrity on the part of the student not to engage with the lecturer for grades. It takes integrity for the
100%,
lecturer to not be a predator to a student. And sometimes these are the things that also play out in real life issues, because if you started too early by doing this and gaining favors, you inculcate it so deeply, you embed it into your character, such that by the time you're in the workplace, you're looking at perhaps Brenda, Shelina, and and then you just Naima, and then you completely lose who you are, and you'll be like, you know what, I want to beat these women, I want to get there before them. If I sleep with the boss, it's going to get me there sooner. Yeah. And what happens is that sometimes the women who don't give in are oppressed in the workplaces. I've been in situations where so I have worked with organizations, mostly international and regional organizations, where you cannot even attempt to abuse anyone. So in my space, what I see mostly in the NGO sector is willing buyer, willing seller, right? Unfortunately, the impact is the same. The trickle effect is the same, because for you to go for this trip, which probably you have merited to go for, and it has certain benefits to your career and advantages, you realize that the person who gives favors to the boss, male or female, is the one that gets to travel with the boss, or get certain opportunities, you know, and then it becomes almost like if you guys are going to play ball, then your career will progress. Then there are people who will never get good appraisals and things like that. So sometimes the oppression comes from a place of lack of integrity. Like Naima mentioned, we can have all manner of systems, but unless we have integrity, it's just like elections in Kenya. There's nothing wrong with our systems. There's nothing wrong with technology.
Yeah.
You of all people know too well. It is the people that manipulate technology, you know, towards a certain end that, you know, put us in the problems and the conundrum that we find ourselves in. Anyways, I think we've exhausted that particular, you know, aspect of our conversation today. We're going to do something very small called a bow solo. So you can give me it. This can be the workplace edition. Relationship wise, I don't know if anyone has anything to share, but the bar was so low. So tell me of a time when you may have, you know, encountered a situation that was just, you can actually look back and laugh. Yeah. Because we were all once where they are right now, in our 20s, trying to figure out life.
Exactly.
But what you do in your 20s will show in your 30s and in your 40s. And sometimes that's when you shape your future. So if you mess up in your 20s,
that is it.
That
is
it.
You may actually destroy your life.
That is it, honestly.
True, unfortunately.
And I usually push this this when you feel like we pray, we believe, and we have to be prayerful. We have to put our prayers as one of the most important things in our lives. And in your 20s, when you feel like life becomes this quarter century crisis, have you guys heard about it? Like that when you're 25, there's a time like you're so confused about your life.
Yes.
And I think at that period of your time, of your life, is when bring God closer to you in your life, in every aspect of your life, because that's the only guidance you need. Because once you divert to the other side, it becomes, you just go down.
Cooked.
It goes down. But when you, and it does take long for your life to change when you're going the right path. Right path is always the hardest, but it's the best once you complete it. You know what I mean? So I think that's the time of your life when you're supposed to, like, you know,
find yourself,
bring God closer, bring prayers to be the most important thing in your life, and you'll be okay. And I thank God that I think we had that.
And one of the things that I think we should mention is that there's nothing wrong with failure.
There's nothing wrong with failure. 100%.
You can always start again.
Yes.
And forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Forgive yourself for the things you've done. Forgive yourself for making those mistakes.
It's okay to start again.
It's okay to start again. Yeah.
You know, I'm a Christian, and we believe that so the Bible says when God, so we call God Father, when your father put you in your mother's womb, your entire destiny was predetermined. So what I think young people have to realize, and I think the rest of us as well, because also millennials are going through a lot of things, especially midlife crisis.
Of course,
see people in their 50s and 40s doing things that they should have done in their 20s, or maybe not at all.
Yeah.
You know, is that when we were born, when God put us in our mother's wombs, our entire destiny was already predetermined, which means there's nothing you are doing to change anything.
That's true.
You're just following a divine path.
That's
and with
true.
that knowledge, you know that every good thing that God declared should come to you cannot be nullified by a human being.
True.
That's very
Yeah.
true.
Destiny is written.
Destiny is written,
Yeah.
but it is us that
To-
enter into things that sway us
100%.
from God's perfect will for our lives.
100%.
So my last question, resolutions or no resolutions?
Resolutions, I think, are just so old, this thing of resolutions. I think just walk into the new year with, with confidence, love, love, prayer, God, For me, resolutions, I do them as per the year goes. Like, I failed here. I'm going to get better in the next month. This is where I did not do right, So I think resolutions just get into the new year all the time with prayer, confidence, love, kindness,
Yeah.
I think that's what you have to get, definitely.
I have nothing to add. She worded it so perfectly, honestly. Just because the new year is starting doesn't mean you have to put a lot of expectations on yourself, you know?
Yeah.
you can always start the year in March. You can start the year in December. You can have your New Year resolutions right
Mine
now.
starts on my birthday.
Exactly. So just because everyone is doing the New Year resolutions in January doesn't mean you have to do the same. I mean, it's good
and we're
to
not
set
on the same calendar.
Yeah,
to
it's
be
good
honest.
to set expectations, and it's good to have goals and all that, but don't be limited by just January. You can always sit down and be like, okay, let me align. Let me see what my plans are. Where do I see myself? That doesn't have to be in January. It can be any time.
Any time.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves.
True.
And we beat ourselves down for the things we didn't achieve. I personally wanted to do so much in 2025, and so much changed for me. For starters, Donald Trump came up with, an executive order that dismantled the institution I was working for, which is USAID. And of course, that came as a shocker. So please, in this life,
be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself, and also create a buffer for surprises.
True.
There's a quote that says, "Whenever we plan, God laughs."
That's true.
Because
for us it's the opposite. For us we say that we plan, but God is the best of planners. For us it's slightly on a positive note, meaning we plan, but God plans better.
But I think also if you think about it deeply, we're also saying the same thing. Because as we're planning, God is laughing because it is He
has the best of planners.
He's the best of planners.
Yes.
His will is what will take root at the end of the day. So I just want to say thank you. Do you have a Christmas message?
Merry Christmas to everyone celebrating. We're with you guys in the celebrations and your holy time. And drive safe. Things are very
really drive safe.
Drive safe.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, and I would say, of course, as I keep saying, just put God ahead of everything that you do, and be kind to yourself. Be happy and yeah. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for this.
Naima, Christmas message.
I would only
drive
say,
safe.
that's it. I don't.
By the way, right now things are really bad. Like you hear
so
accidents.
I
It's so bad. Like I even I was like my brother would call him like, listen, please drive slowly. Like don't go in. Like don't go for house parties. Don't go out. Like if I could just hold you, just keep in my house. My younger brother.
We actually lost a member of parliament this week.
Yes, two of them actually.
Cyrus Jerome.
There are two, right?
Yeah.
There's another one?
Yeah, there was another one earlier.
Okay, my goodness. And the story is like he came from a party. He was a bit tipsy, I guess. He went to a petrol station. When he was joining the main highway, a bus, there was a head-on collision. That's the story. We obviously send our condolences to the families, not just Jirongos, even the bus. I hear a lot of passengers were injured. May his soul rest in peace, and the people that have lost their lives. We've seen a lot of road carnage in this festive season. And guess what? Alcoblow is back. Alcoblow is back. Yeah. So I think it came back 2 weeks ago. I hope I'm right. But I know it's back because I had this from a very credible source. I don't roam the streets at night, so I have no clue. I take my wine and stay in the house. But to be honest, please be safe. We have had amazing conversations today with beautiful women of God who, first of all, are confident, love themselves, carry themselves with so much grace, and they've had so much to share. I hope that the tidbits are going to be things that are going to impact you in your life. As a young woman, as a young man, please don't have pressure. As a young man, make your money pole. The people that feel like you're not worth it, ni sawa too. There's always someone who will value you as you are.
100%.
We don't have to get into wash and crime and whatnot to make it faster so that we're seen with more women, because sometimes that is currency in the male's world to be seen as an alpha. And alpha, we actually, the word high value man is really not about how much you have in your wallet, but more of your character.
100%.
How you carry yourself. Are you a gentleman? Are you, do you think about the right ideals? Do you respect women, children, fellow men, and how you carry yourself in the workplace? The things that you want to achieve in life. That's a high value man. The other thing is, let us be kind to the people that don't have much. Let's share. Make sure everyone has a Merry Christmas.
And a happy New Year.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
so much.
Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms. Diplomacy Unscripted on all platforms. Yes. And there's also a project. It was African Girls Can Code.
Initiative, yes.
Yes, there's an African Girls Can Code initiative that Naima is involved in. Please follow. And also, I think we'll be able to share more details about Shelina at the bottom of your screen.
And investors coming from outside, you want to come to Kenya, talk to me.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And also how maybe next time we'll have a conversation about how young women can get into the space that you're into.
Of course.
You do some, I think,
amazing work.
epic things
Thank you.
that are
Thank
out
you
of
so
this
much.
world.
Yes.
And your network is
Very strong.
Thank
very
you very
strong.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
always, in those rooms.
You
and
need to work hard. We
representing
need to
women
work hard.
well.
Yes.
Yeah, we need
More
to work hard.
importantly, you represent
I
us
agree.
well.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you. Thank you for
So
having
thank
me.
you guys. Toodles.
Bye.
We also want to enjoy our
Bye.
Christmas. Ciao. Bye.
See you.